People didn't know the truth about Zuri. Most only saw the girl shouting hot rice, hot beans, barefoot in the dust. But her story? It started way before the street became her second home. Zuri and Liza were sisters, same dad, different moms. Zuri never really knew her mother. She'd passed away before Zuri even knew how to spell the word death. She was just 3. After that, Mr. Aid, her father, got married again. That's how Madame Ronki came into the picture. Life didn't hand Mr. Aid much. He worked jobs that paid late or didn't pay at all. But he had fire in his heart. He never gave up. He wanted both girls in school. Even if it meant skipping his own meals. Even if it meant borrowing with shame in his eyes. One day, Madame Ronk got tired of watching her husband break his back for nothing. So she started her own hustle. Hot meals, sold right by the roadside. Rice, beans, stew, all packed in coolers that steamed through the morning mist. It helped. Just a bit. At least the girls weren't going to bed with empty bellies anymore. But peace never stays long in a house built on secrets. One morning, while the 2 girls were buttoning their school shirts, Madame Ronki called Zuri over. "Take that uniform off," she said, her face blank, her voice like stone. Zuri stood there, frozen. "Ma? You heard me. No more school. From today, you hawk food for me. I won't keep feeding someone who brings nothing back." That was it. No more classroom. No more chalkboards. No more friends. From that day, every morning, while Liza slung her bag over her shoulder and strolled off to school with clean shoes and bright notebooks, Zuri lifted a heavy metal cooler onto her head. One filled with steaming rice and beans. No shoes. Just sore feet and a fake smile. She walked the same roads every day, calling out, "Hot rice, hot beans, come and buy." The people buying her food never saw her tears, only the smile she forced like it was glued to her face. Back home, Mr. Aid thought everything was fine. That's the sad part. He only came home once a month. Just weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. 2 days that always felt like a show. Madame Ronki would sweep the entire house, cook his favorite egusi soup, tell the neighbors not to stop by. She didn't let him step outside either. "Rest, love," she'd coo. "You work too hard. The world can wait." And he believed her. He thought he had a strong woman by his side. He'd say things like, "Ronke, thank God for you. I don't know what I'd do without you." He didn't know Zuri wasn't in school anymore. He didn't know his first daughter, the one with his late wife's exact eyes, now walked the streets carrying food, her arms sore, her feet cracked. He didn't know Madame Ronki made sure he stayed blind. As weeks passed, Zuri's life turned into a silent storm. No thunder, no lightning, just steady pain, like a wound that never stopped stinging. Her days began before dawn. Madame Ronki would yank the bedsheet off her and shout, "Lazy girl! You think this house feeds itself?" Zuri would sweep the compound, wash the dishes, boil water, and pack the food. Then, she'd lift the cooler, heavier than her body, and start her journey again. Up and down the same streets, yelling with a cracked voice, "Hot rice, hot beans, help me oh." But the street wasn't her only battleground. At school gates, Liza would spot her and hiss, "Don't stand near me." Zuri would bow her head and keep walking. "You're not my sister," Liza once spat. "You're just the housemaid." She didn't say it just once. She'd laugh with her friends watching Zuri walk by with that wobbling cooler. "Isn't that the girl that used to sit in our class?" someone would ask. "Now she's a food seller," another would say. Sometimes they threw empty sachets at her, or spilled drinks near her feet so she'd slip. One girl once screamed, "Maybe eat what's left like a dog does." Zuri didn't reply. She couldn't. What could she say? She'd wipe her face with the edge of her wrapper and keep walking. One day, something nearly broke her completely. She'd sold the last of her food and wandered into a quiet back road, her belly empty, her legs shaking. That's when 3 boys appeared. Not friendly ones. "Where you dey go, fine girl?" One grinned, his hand grabbing her wrist. I don't have anything," Zuri said, her voice small. "We no ask you that," another laughed. "We just want to play." They shoved her. Her cooler hit the ground with a loud clang. Her wrapper tore slightly as she struggled. She screamed, but no one came. Until, "Leave her alone." The voice was low, firm. The boys turned. A man in a wheelchair rolled toward them, slow but steady. His clothes were torn, his body small, but his eyes? They looked like they could burn fire. "Who be this one?" one boy scoffed. But the man rolled closer. "Try it again. Touch her. I dare you." And something about him, something none of them could name, made them back off. The boys muttered curses, then ran. Zuri collapsed. The man wheeled closer. "You okay?" he asked, voice soft. Zuri looked up, her cheeks stained with tears. She nodded. That man, the one people passed every day like he didn't exist, had just saved her. The next morning, Zuri woke up with the stranger's face stuck in her chest like a memory that wouldn't let go. That wheelchair man, the one who showed up when no one else did. He didn't just protect her, he made her feel seen, like she wasn't invisible, like she mattered. She wanted to say thank you. So after she finished hawking that day, instead of going straight home, Zuri took a different turn. Her legs knew the street, even if her heart didn't know what she'd say. There he was. Same spot. Right by the abandoned mechanic shop. His wheelchair leaned against the crumbling wall, rusted and old. He sat quietly, eyes fixed on nothing, like he was waiting. Zuri took slow steps forward, holding a small bowl under her wrapper. She'd saved it from her own food that morning. "Sir," she said, shy, "I brought you something. It's not much, but..." The man looked up, surprised. "No, my child," he said, shaking his head, his voice almost trembling. "You need that more than I do." She pushed the plate gently forward. "You saved me. Please, let me thank you." He paused. His eyes searched hers. Then he reached out with shaky fingers and took the bowl. "God bless you," he whispered. Zuri smiled, not the kind she forced when selling food. A real one. The kind that made the sun feel a little warmer. She walked away lighter that day. Her hands were empty, but her heart wasn't. That became their little ritual. Every day after selling, Zuri would keep a small portion aside. Sometimes just a spoon of beans, sometimes rice with no stew, some days only dry gari, but he never complained. "It tastes like royalty," he'd say, because of who gave it. They talked. About everything. About the mean girls who mocked her. About the mother she missed but barely remembered. About her dream of becoming a nurse, even if school felt like a past life. And the man? He listened. Never interrupted. Never asked for more. He just listened. And somehow, that was enough. One day, under the harsh afternoon sun, Zuri handed him his small bowl, laughing. He'd just finished telling her how a goat once chased him through a whole village square. Her laughter echoed across the dusty street, real and raw, like sunlight breaking through gray clouds. But someone was watching. Across the road, arms folded, lips curled. Liza. Her eyes narrowed. "So this is where she hides food," Liza hissed under her breath. "Giving it to that cripple." That night, Liza burst into the living room, threw her bag to the floor and shouted, "Mummy, you won't believe what I saw." Madame Ronke looked up from her money pile, uninterested. "What again?" "She's giving your food to a beggar." Ronk's face changed fast, her jaw clenched. "She what?" Before anyone could blink, she snatched a broom and stormed into the back room where Zuri was washing her cooler. "You thief! Ungrateful rat!" she screamed, swinging the broom hard. Zuri jumped up, eyes wide. "What did I do? You sneak my food to a beggar while I sweat?" The broom hit her back. Zuri shielded her head, sobbing. "He saved me. He stopped some boys that wanted to hurt me." That only made things worse. "Oh, so you have a man now, eh? A crippled boyfriend." Ronki's words hit like stones. Zuri froze. "You don't even know my mom," she said softly, her eyes wet. "Don't speak about her like that." Before she could breathe, Liza stepped forward and slapped her. "Don't ever talk about my mum like that." Zuri didn't cry anymore. Her pain had gone too deep for that. That night, while she sat nursing her bruises, she looked out the window and whispered to the sky, "I just wanted to say thank you." Next morning, Zuri dragged herself to the kitchen, her body sore, her eyes swollen. But there was nothing waiting for her. No plate, no cup, no food. Madame Ronki was packing food into containers. The smell of hot beans filled the room. Zuri stood still, silent. "Ma, I'm hungry," she said. Ronki turned slowly. Her mouth curled into a cold smile. "Hunger is good," she said. "You'll fast for 10 days. Maybe then, the demons that make you give strangers food will leave." Zuri's lips trembled. "But I haven't eaten since yesterday." "And you won't," Ronka snapped. "You'll walk, you'll sell, you'll return my money. If one coin is missing..." She didn't need to finish the threat. Zuri already knew. That day, she walked the streets, stomach empty, cooler heavy. She called out her sales cry. She faked her smile. But her legs trembled like never before. A woman offered her food. Zuri shook her head. "Thank you, Ma, but I can't." Later, she reached the corner where the wheelchair man always sat. But he wasn't there. She waited. And waited. He didn't come. She passed the spot again the next day. Still empty. 2 days passed, each one harder than the last. Then, something pulled her heart toward the abandoned rail tracks. Maybe he's there? She followed the dusty path. Her feet hurt. Her head spun. But then she saw him. "Sir Jack!" she cried. There he was, same old wheelchair, same cap. Eyes closed, face calm. Zuri dropped her cooler and ran. "I missed you," she panted. "You scared me." Jack opened his eyes slowly. "I knew you'd worry," he said. "I'm sorry. I had to go away for a bit." She dropped beside him, apologizing for not bringing food. "I haven't eaten either," she admitted. "She made me fast. For 10 days. Jack's eyes darkened. "You're still not eating?" Zuri shook her head. "Not a grain." He reached into his pocket and gently dabbed her forehead with a soft cloth. "My child," he whispered. "You've done more for me than anyone ever has." He reached to his side and pulled out a folded piece of paper. "Tomorrow," he said, "I'll give you something. Something I've kept for too long." Zuri nodded, still not understanding. "Go home now," Jack said. "Try to rest." As she walked away, she didn't see the tear rolling down his cheek. Humanized. Zuri didn't sleep that night. Her belly was empty, but that wasn't what kept her awake. It was the way Sir Jack spoke, the way he said, "Tomorrow." Like it meant something more than just another day. Morning came. But before Zuri could even tie her scarf or touch the food cooler, 2 sleek black cars pulled up outside their home. Not taxis, not buses, not delivery vans. These cars didn't belong on a dusty road like theirs. Their engines purred, low and steady, quiet enough to feel loud. Inside, Madame Ronki was tying up the food cooler, checking the lid, and counting her money. Then came the knock. A man in a sharp black suit stepped in. "Good morning, Ma," he said calmly. "We're here to see Zuri." Ronki blinked. "Zuri? What for?" The man smiled politely. "It's about the man she's been feeding." Her eyes lit up. "Oh, that beggar," she laughed. Yes, Zuri is such a kind girl, always saving a little for him. I even encourage it." She looked past the man, toward the car. Her voice dipped. "So, did he send money, or something else?" Another man stepped out, holding a thick white envelope. "We were asked to give you this, 50,000 naira, for today's food sales." Ronki's fingers flew. She grabbed the envelope, tore it open, and gasped. Fresh, crisp notes. Real money. "Thank you." She beamed, already counting. "You can take her. Anything you need. Just bring her back in one piece." She laughed, clapping her hands. planning how to spend the money before it even hit her purse. What she didn't see, or maybe didn't care to, was Zuri standing by the window, watching, hearing, feeling every word like a blade. They just sold her. Like food. Like change. The man stepped out of the car and called her gently. Zuri. She nodded slowly and walked toward him, her feet shaky, like they didn't trust the ground anymore. We're taking you to someone, he said. She opened her mouth, confused. Sir Jack is waiting, the second man added, his voice low and calm. Zuri froze. Sir Jack? She climbed into the back seat. She didn't cry, not yet. The car ride was quiet, strange. The roads changed, the air changed. And when they passed through the iron gates of a tall glass building, her mouth dropped open. The walls glittered, the floors shone, the windows stretched higher than trees. She had never seen a place like this. Where are we? She whispered. Sir Jack's office, the driver replied. Her breath caught. They led her through polished halls, past people in suits and heels. Everyone looked important. Everyone moved like they had somewhere big to be. She walked slower, not because she was scared, but because nothing in her life prepared her for this. They opened a tall wooden door. She stepped inside, then stopped. At the far end of the room sat Sir Jack, still in his wheelchair, but no longer in rags. He wore a dark blue suit. His shoes were shined. His shirt was pressed. His hair was trimmed. His eyes are bright. He didn't look poor. He looked like a king. Sir, Zuri whispered, is this your office? Jack smiled warmly. Yes, Zuri, it is. I don't understand. I wasn't who I seemed to be, he said gently. I was looking for something, and I found it. He reached out his hand. There's more. Come with me. She followed him into a room filled with people, staff in suits, serious people, all seated, waiting. He turned to face them, Zuri standing behind him like a leaf in the wind. This, he said, is Zuri, the girl who fed me daily, not because she had more, but because she had heart. The room was quiet. He turned to her, then looked ahead. I've known pain, he said. When I was 10, my stepmother kicked me down a staircase for using her towel. I lost my legs that day. Doctors later said I'd never have children. Gasps filled the air. But I survived, he said, and I swore, if I ever met someone with a heart like mine once was, I'd give them everything I have. He turned to Zuri. You are that person. She blinked, stunned. No more hawking, no more sleeping hungry. From today you are my daughter, not by blood, but by choice. He faced the room again, and the heir to everything I own. Whispers, stares, even tears. Zuri couldn't speak. She didn't need to. Jack placed his hand on hers. You passed every test, even when you didn't know it was a test. She looked down, tears wetting her cheek. Then the door opened again. A man walked in with documents. As soon as he saw Zuri, he froze. Papers fell from his hands. Zuri! He breathed. What are you doing here? She stared back at him. Soft voice. Dad? Mr. Aide stood in shock. This is your office. Before he could say more, Jack leaned back. Instead of questioning her, maybe speak to her with respect. She's the heir now. Mr. Aide couldn't speak. She was made to hawk while her sister sat in AC classrooms, Jack continued. She gave when she had nothing, and you believed lies and did nothing. Mr. Aide tried to argue. I didn't know, Madame Ronka just said. And you never checked. Silence. Jack's voice dropped. She's here by grace, no luck. And she'll never hawk again. Mr. Aide lowered his head. He had nothing left to say. Zuri didn't look at him. She didn't need to. Some wounds don't speak. They just sit there, deep and quiet. Jack signed the last document and waved Mr. Aide away. And just like that, Zuri, the barefoot food seller, became a name that echoed in halls built from glass and steel. The rain started just as the car rolled out of the company gates. It wasn't gentle. It came down hard. The kind of rain that slapped rooftops and turned dust to mud. Zuri sat in the back seat staring out the window. Her mind hadn't caught up yet. One moment she was walking barefoot through noisy streets. Now, drivers, security, air conditioning, soft seats that didn't scratch her skin. But all she could think about Madame Ronka and what she said, and how easily she gave her away. As the car turned into their old street, something made Zuri sit up. There, ahead, struggling in the mud, was Madame Ronka. She was dragging 2 heavy grocery bags. Her hair was soaked. Her clothes stuck to her body like glue. Her slippers barely held onto her feet. Zuri's heart moved. She tapped the driver's shoulder. "Please stop, and reverse a little." The car reversed, slow and quiet, until it reached Madame Ronka. "Help her with the bags," Zuri said softly. The driver got out. "Hey, don't touch me," Ronka screamed. "I've got nothing to steal. I'm just going home." The window rolled down, and Zuri's face appeared. Software calm, no anger. "Come in, Mom," she said. Ronka blinked, like she was seeing a ghost. "Zuri?" She nodded. "Come inside. It's cold." Ronka got in, still shaking. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. The car pulled up outside their small house, the one with the broken gate and the leaking roof. Zuri stepped out. Security guards opened umbrellas and followed her like she was a queen. She turned to Madame Ronki. "I came to say goodbye." Ronki stood frozen. "I'm going to live with Sir Jack now. He's handling everything." Zuri's voice didn't rise. It didn't shake. It just existed, like truth. Ronka dropped to her knees in the mud. "Zuri, my daughter, please forgive me," she cried. "I didn't know what I was doing. Please. I want a good life too." Zuri looked at her. No anger, just silence. "I already did," she said softly. "Goodbye, Mom." She stepped back into the car, and just like that, she was gone. Back in the house, the silence was loud. The rain beat on the windows. The floor smelled like wet dust. That same evening, Mr. Aide returned home. But he wasn't calm. He slammed the door. "Ronka." She came out, her eyes red from crying. "You lied to me," he said. "You told me Zuri was okay, that she was in school, that she was happy." I didn't lie," she stammered. "I just didn't tell everything. You turned my child into a hawker. You punished her for being kind. You sold her for 50,000 naira." From the corner, Lisa started crying. "Dad, I can't stay here anymore. Zuri is in a mansion. She has drivers and security. I want that too. I want to beg her." Aide turned to her. "You're not the one who suffered. She is." He looked around the house, the one he thought was a home. "I'm done," he said, voice low. "I'm leaving." He walked out. No bags, no goodbye, just the sound of his shoes on the wet ground. Weeks passed. Zuri didn't come back, and that little house got quieter, colder. One night, Madame Ronki collapsed in the bathroom. Liza screamed for help. The hospital said it was a stroke, stress, guilt. High blood pressure is left to grow like a weed. She couldn't walk properly anymore, could barely speak. Most days, she just sat in a plastic chair outside the house, watching, waiting. Liza started hawking bread and fruits, walking the same streets Zuri once did. People stared, but nobody helped. "All right, besties, take care of your hearts. Be like Zuri, stay kind, even when it hurts. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace." If you made it to the end of this story, thank you. Zuri's journey wasn't just about pain. It was about staying kind, even when life didn't give her a reason to. That kind of heart? Rare. If you've ever felt like the world forgot you, just remember, storms don't last. Sometimes, what feels like the end is just the part before everything changes. And listen, if this story moved you even a little, don't scroll away. Just hit the like button, drop a comment, even if it's just a heart or "I'm still watching, I see all of them." And they mean more than you know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. It helps the channel grow, and you'll never miss another story that just might touch you deep.